Yay! Wave at me!
Really happy that the initiative we put in place and have this impact. Teach our children the CC way, which is being confident and being considerate. So we want them to lead healthy, active lives and be confident in themselves, but also to think about others, think about the planet, think about their local area and how they can make that better. So this just shows that that's what we do.
Around with my hand, yeah, that's what I was thinking. And also as well, there you go.
Travel as part of a Transport for London scheme to reduce emissions and encourage more exercise. And our reporter Gem O'Reilly is at Grange Primary School in South Harrow, which has received its gold standard, and she's with us now. Good morning, Gem. What's going on? Where are you? And tell us more about this scheme and how it works.
Good morning, Aaron. Well, this scheme has been running since 2004, and as of August, 1,009 schools across the capital have achieved the highest level of accreditation when it comes to reducing emissions and increasing daily activity for young people. I don't know about you, but I remember my school run and cars just being everywhere. But this school, Grange Primary School in Harrow, where I am now, has managed to get more children cycling, walking and even scooting to school. Now, to achieve gold accreditation, schools must turn 90% of their school runs to being on sustainable transport. So that's buses, trains, cycling or even scooting, and they must reduce their car use by up to 6%. And here at Grange Primary School, they've done this by introducing active travel training, scooter training, and even introduced road safety videos to help reduce collisions on the school run. It is important to highlight that there's a long way to go, Aaron, with London's air pollution at nearly all schools exceeding the World Health Organization's recommendations of nitrogen oxide. And last year, air filters were introduced for the most polluted schools across the capital. The worst areas impacted are inner city schools and more deprived areas. TfL says since 2019 it has reduced nitrogen oxide levels, which are down by 27% across London. But this scheme has managed to take a lot of things forward. And for context, there are more than 3,200 schools in the capital, which means the scheme has managed to reduce a third of all London schools. So I'm here with Sultana Begum, Assistant Head Teacher at Grange Primary School, and Hitesh Carrier from Harrow Council, Councillor Hitesh. Firstly to you, Sultana, why was it so important that this school got involved?
So it all started when I was exploring ways to make road safety and cycling more meaningful for our pupils. And during my research, I came across Travel for Life from Harrow Council, and they explained that schools could take part for free. And at first, we weren't completely sure what it involved, but once the TfL team guided us through it, we realised that so much of what we were already doing at Grange counted as active travel. Things like walking trips, using public transport, journey planning in geography lessons and things like that. And from there, everything just came together naturally. We built on our existing strengths, involved our parents more and focused on pupil leadership. And that journey has led us all the way to achieving Gold Accreditation this year, which we're incredibly proud of. And our student council created videos promoting sustainable travel. Year 6 pupils worked on travel safety as part of their transition to secondary school, and we've introduced eco warriors and travel ambassadors to keep the momentum going. The ambassadors will help us promote initiatives like the walking bus, safe parking, raising awareness about road safety in our local area. And for us, Travel for Life has become much more than a program. It's a culture. It's changed the way our whole community thinks about travel safety and the environment, and it's something our pupils are genuinely proud of to be part of.
And of course yourself looking at all these changes and knowing that it's healthier for the children going to this school. Councillor Hitesh, you're from Harrow Council. Harrow does have 80 schools and 27 of those have managed to achieve this gold standard. 9 are also involved. You've got another half to go. How are you going to encourage those other schools?
Well, first of all, I think sustainable travel is a great way to help children, stay active, enjoy the outdoors, and also build sort of healthier habits. And I think the achievement is a significant milestone in London Borough of Harrow's ongoing commitment to creating a safer, cleaner, and healthier borough. And this is a fantastic achievement, not only by the Grange, but a number of our schools, in ensuring that, it's a collaborative joint working between the schools and the dedicated travel planning teams. And I think what it shows is, the encouragement it shows is the parents coming together and choosing to leave their cars at home, and also some great innovative initiatives that have been shown. Grange has highlighted some of them. We have a fantastic initiative in using our hip-hoppy, the hair, to make sure that children buy into this as well. And it's a long-term sustainable element that we want to encourage. And I think the school's achievements that we've seen so far in leading the way London is going also helps to encourage other schools as part of the remaining schools that we have. And over a sort of medium term, we want to encourage more and more parents and schools to buy into that. And there's enough initiatives that have been shown by the existing schools that have achieved gold standard to try and use those as a way of making sure they get to the same standard as well.
Thank you very much, Councillor, and thank you, Sultana, as well. Aaron, it is a long way to go. It's difficult when, working families are trying to get their children to school and they have their routine to kind of adjust that. And so obviously this school is trying to set that example, and we'll be talking about this all morning with the teachers and the pupils as to how that has impacted their morning and kind of their routine going forward.
Jem, looking forward to it. I'll be back with some good luncheon tips for you as well. 7:33. We've sent our reporter Jem O'Reilly there to find out more. She's at Grange Primary School in South Harrow, which has the gold standard. And I'm sure she's adding to that gold standard right now. Jem, good morning. What's going on? What are you up to? Who you with?
I feel bad that I've not actually added to the gold standard yet. I should be walking around. I've been sat down having a coffee in between last talking to you, Aaron, to be completely honest. But this TfL scheme is run in partnership with London Transport Museum and all London boroughs with the aim to reduce emissions around schools in the capital and create a healthier, more active environment for young people. So far, the scheme has managed to get just under a third of the schools in London, there's more than 3,000 schools in London on board with the scheme and achieving that gold accreditation. Now, to achieve the gold standard, schools have to improve that 90% they have to prove that 90% of their family school runs are done through sustainable travel. So that's cycling, walking, or getting public transport. And also they must reduce their car use by up to 6%. So at Grange Primary School, they've managed to do that, which is why we're here this morning. Now, it is important to note that the World Health Organization still sees most of London's schools over exceeding the nitrogen oxide levels of pollution. So there is a long way to go. Last year, air filters were introduced to the most polluted schools across the capital, and the worst areas impacted are inner city schools and more deprived areas. TfL says since 2019 it has reduced nitrogen oxide levels, which are the toxic levels coming from cars, by 27% across the whole of London. So we are making steps forward, but that's all done through pupils and parents, and I'm very pleased to say I'm joined by some of them now. Mesa, you walk to school every day. How does that make you feel, and how does it feel contributing to this improvement in the environment?
It makes me feel happy because every day by walking I help the planet to be sustained, and any day I might not get enough sleep, walking every day makes me feel more energized and have the will to move.
That's a really good answer. And you are so much more energetic, I suppose, in the morning as well. Do you get to interact on your walk? Are you talking to your friends or your parents so that you feel a little bit more happy to start the school day?
I usually walk by myself, but sometimes I meet my friends on the way, so we usually talk until we have to say bye because she goes the other way.
That's really good, but also adding to your energy for the day. Ilias, you're year 5, just a year below Mesa. You cycle every day with your dad running behind you. How cool is that? What does that feel like when you're on your way to school?
It feels great because it makes you feel much more energetic, and it helps the earth be less polluted, and it also helps yourself because you get to ride a bike and your legs get more happier, and it makes me happy because I'm with my dad, and it's actually it feels good to be riding a bike because you need to get it ready, and you also get to press the brakes and the bell.
And the bell. I love the bell as well. What would you say to other young children across London that might not be doing things for the environment? How would you tell them that this is important?
I would tell them that riding a bicycle is fun and it helps the earth get less polluted.
Really good answer, thank you. Wahid, you are Ilias's dad. What's that like hearing that? It encourages you. It's like a cyclic thing, isn't it? Of your child coming back and saying, this is working, I'm enjoying this.
Absolutely, it's good because sometimes when Elias is with the bike, I'm sometimes running after him as well. He said, Daddy, can you catch me? And I'm good as well. I most encourage him most of the time, even my daughter as well. She's cycling and scooting as well to keep them company as well, and also it's good for their health as well, also for the environment as well. I'm very happy with Elias as well. Most of the time, he loves the biking and he's a sporty guy. I'm happy with him as well.
Thank you. And you're smiling away because you've had a cycle this morning, haven't you? Hannah Watson, you are the deputy head here. Just hearing all of that, and obviously you're encouraging it as a teacher, what does that feel like, knowing that it's having this impact?
Yeah, really positive. So at Grange, we talk about the CC way, which is about having confidence for yourself and consideration for others. So this is kind of a perfect example of that. It's helping the children to lead a healthy lifestyle, which means they'll be confident, but also thinking about others, not just thinking about themselves and the planet around them. We do have a lot of children in the school with asthma, so anything we can do to reduce the air pollution obviously helps with that and keeps them safe.
Thank you all very much, Aaron. So many tips for other schools as well. There's still a long way to go. Another 2/3 of schools in London to take on this scheme, but hopefully, they can check out more ways to do it.
Absolutely. I think they should chuck out a free bell for every bike. There's nothing like the bell.
Nothing like the bell. The school bell's about to go, by the way.
Okay, we'll get inside for reception. 8:33. We're going to get the news. London, let's push on. How did you get to and from school? Did you ever use a cycle, a scooter? Well, more than 1,000 schools in London have achieved gold standard for active travel as part of a Transport for London scheme to reduce emissions and encourage more exercise. And our reporter Jem O'Reilly is at Grange Primary School in South Harrow, which has received its gold standard. Jem is there and can tell us more about what she's up to. Good morning.
Hi, Aaron. So I'm right in front of a super walker, but this super walker is a hare. Now, this is a really big, amazing, well, it's a rabbit hare in the middle of the playground now in the entrance of the school, and the children have been interacting with it all morning. And the whole idea is that the mascot really encourages young people to cycle or walk to school. Now, this scheme has been running since 2004, and as of August, 1,009 schools across the capital have achieved the highest level of accreditations when it comes to reducing emissions and increasing daily activity for young people. I don't know about you, but I remember my school run including so many cars, but this school is trying to challenge that and have managed to get more children cycling, walking and even scooting to school. Now, just for wider context, it is important to highlight that London's air pollution at all schools nearly exceeds the World Health Organisation's recommendations of nitrogen oxide. But last year, air filters were introduced for most polluted schools across the capital. The worst areas affected are inner city schools and more deprived areas. But TfL says since 2019, it has reduced nitrogen oxide levels, which are the toxic levels coming from cars, by 27% across the capital. I'm really pleased to be joined by Suyash and Malik, two pupils at the school. Firstly to you, Malik, you scoot to school. That is so cool. Tell me more about kind of why you wanted to scoot and how you find that journey in the morning.
I think scooting to school is really fun, and it always keeps me energetic when I come to school. Sometimes when I feel down, I always scoot to school, and it always makes me feel happy. And I think it's also really good for your health instead of going by car, because then you can get your exercise in, and you're also not like polluting the air.
And does that make you feel good that you're kind of contributing that now with your school routine?
Yes.
Very good. Thank you, Malik. And you've been teaching me a little bit about your scooter as well. Suyash, you're part of the school council, really impressive, and you walk and cycle, don't you? How important do you think this is for young people to get involved and try and reduce these emissions that we're talking about across London?
It really encourages people to not use cars and save our planet, and keeps everyone healthy to cycle and walk to school.
And how do you feel, a little bit like Malik was saying, when you are walking to school and cycling, does it make you feel better for the day than it would do in a car?
Yes, because I get energetic, and I get some fresh air on the way.
Perfect. Thank you both. Really, really good answers. It is important to note that the teachers are also part of this influence, and Mrs. Watson is the deputy head here. Just listening to them talking about that, how do you feel, that it's had this impact, and they're also very aware of how they're contributing to a better environment?
Yeah, really, really proud, and really happy that the initiatives we've put in place have had this impact, because we teach our children the CC way, which is being confident and being considerate. So we want them to lead healthy, active lives and be confident in themselves, but also to think about others, think about the planet, think about their local area and how they can make that better. So this just shows that that's what we're doing.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me at your school this morning. Aaron, I'm just looking around the front of the school, so many bikes and scooters right in front, and it really does show the impact that this scheme has had, with so many families taking this up, but often not easy with a busy day that a family may have and trying to adopt this routine. So there's around a third of schools that have taken on this scheme by TfL across London, and we will see, obviously, and keep track if more do jump on board with this.
I always wanted to ride my bike to school, but I was never allowed.
Why weren't you allowed?
Because I wasn't responsible enough, apparently.
Did you have a bell on your bike? I can imagine you having
yes, a little tinkly one. Bling. However, I was allowed to walk to school from the age of 9 or 10. Yeah, but I wasn't allowed to cycle, which would have got me there quicker. Yeah, back quicker. I wasn't allowed, no.
Well, you were good. I think you'd be a good cyclist.
Yes,
right?
I was a competent cyclist.
We should cycle to work at 4 a.m. Me and you.
Yeah, why not, Jem? great idea. You start tomorrow, and I'll catch up with you. How about that? Okay, nice.
Morning school run. More than 1,000 schools in London have now achieved gold standard for active travel as part of a Transport for London scheme for schools to reduce emissions and encourage more exercise amongst their students. And our reporter Gem O'Reilly is at Grange Primary School in South Harrow. That's one of the schools that's received a gold standard. And Gem can tell us more. Morning, Gem.
Good morning, Jim. Well, this scheme has been running that you've referenced since 2004, and as of August, 1,009 schools across the capital have achieved the highest level of accreditation when it comes to reducing emissions and increasing daily activity for young people. Now, I don't know about you, but I do remember my school run being full of cars, but Grange Primary School, where I'm at now in Harrow, has managed to get more children cycling, walking and even scooting to school. Now, to achieve gold accreditation, schools must turn 90% of their school runs to being made on sustainable transport. So that is walking, cycling or taking public transport, or they must reduce their car use by up to 6%. And at Grange Primary School, they've done this by introducing active travel training, scooter training and even introduced road safety videos to help reduce collisions on the school run. But before I get into talking to our guests, it's important to highlight that there's a long way to go with this, Jim, with London's air pollution at nearly all schools exceeding the World Health Organization's recommendations of nitrogen oxide. And last year, air filters were introduced for the most polluted schools across the capital. The worst areas impacted are inner city schools and more deprived areas. TfL says since 2019 it has reduced nitrogen oxide levels, which are the toxic levels coming from cars, by 27% across London. But there is some way to go. Now, here's what two parents had to say about the impact that this school's routine has had on their own family daily commute.
So Jacob is very enthusiastic about exercise. I think what's been really lovely is he loves the walk to school. It's a time for us to connect and chat. He also does the daily mile at school, which he talks about a lot. So they do laps around the school playground and he hits his mile that way. So it's some additional exercise for him. But yeah, he loves getting involved. He loves exercising. He's a very active, vibrant, happy kid, really. And I think it was part of the reason we chose the school, because it was close to our house and we didn't have to drive and get stuck in traffic. So I think that helps our whole family.
And is it the same for you, Ty, with your daughter? Because she come back and sort of been learning from this.
She's been pretty much more or less the same, but she's been more inspired by her younger sister, because her younger sister used to scoot to here when we used to drop her off. So she wanted to take her bike. So now pretty much every morning they like to kind of race each other, going all the way down to the school. And I guess knowing the routes and stuff helps a ton, because I used to come here when I was around their age. So knowing all the routes, knowing which is best for them for their bikes and like to run and to scoot, it makes it a lot easier for them. But she's been a lot more confident in her bike, and hopefully maybe even by the end of this year or start of next year we could take training wheels off and it would boost our confidence a lot more as well.
And we're talking really young, aren't we? Like 6 or 7, these children. They're probably only 6 because they've just started year 1. How important do you think it is to start all of this environmental awareness this early?
I think it's really good, knowing that they're around technology all the time, and there's not really much, I guess, nature around living in the city and stuff. There's not really much nature for them. So knowing that they're protecting the planet and they're helping out little by little is like really good, and they can kind of see it when they're older what good they're doing now.
And I'm with Sultana Begum, assistant head teacher at Grange Primary, and Malik, one of the pupils. Malik, you've just done some exercise to get over here, haven't you? In terms of your commute, you do scoot to school. How does that make you feel, knowing that you're doing better for the environment by doing that?
It makes me feel great knowing that I'm like getting exercise in and getting more energetic. Some days when I feel down, I come to school scooting, and it always makes me feel happy that my friends are also coming like that. And I feel good that I'm not polluting the air, which is also really good.
Yeah, and see, that's influenced your family, because you said some siblings are also What are your siblings doing to get to school?
My sisters are walking and scooting to school as well.
Very cool. And you've got a really cool scooter, haven't you? Sultana, listening this morning, obviously, to all these conversations and how families are being influenced by this, how does that make you feel as the assistant head that has really pushed this to go forward now?
So it's lovely to see our pupils so engaged and enjoying different environments around the school. They're really taking ownership and making great decisions about how they travel and learn. Active travel has become part of our school culture. Many of our pupils live locally and now choose to walk, scoot or cycle to school. And it's something we're very proud of, proud to promote, because it's helping our children stay healthy, confident and connected to their community. And we're showing that small daily choices can make big differences for both well-being and the environment.
Of course, thank you so much, and thanks for having us this morning. Now, Jim, just for context, TfL has recorded a year-on-year increase of take-up on this scheme.